Hey smart people, Tobi Salami here. Have you ever wondered if it was possible for you to click on the download link and have the download name of the file dynamically set by you in a particular way that you define? For example, let's say that you have a music file called the Music of Fame. The Music of Fame here is simply a name that you stored in the database as, the name of the file. But the file is stored separately somewhere in your media library. But you need to be able to have the download link dynamically set the name of the file to the name of the item, like this. If you click on download, for example, the Music of Fame, notice two things happens here. Once you click on download, you see now that the file name has been set to the Music of Fame. Not only that, the current date, 24th, which is the year, 12th, which is the month, December, and 5th, which is the day, is also appended to this file. Can you imagine how dynamic you can make your files such that anyone on your site can actually download files and have the file names very dynamically set by you? If you want to understand this and a lot more, stick around till the end of this video. Do well to subscribe if you want to see more of this, as I release videos such as this every week. My name is Tobi Salami, and if you're ready to get started, let's not waste a minute more. The only plugin you need here is JetEngine. Whether you use Elementor or Bricks Builder or Gutenberg really doesn't matter. For now, I'm just going to use Elementor Pro to demonstrate this, but whatever I do here, you can very much replicate in any page builder of your choice. As long as it supports JetEngine, you are good to go. Now, let's start by creating a simple options page, and my reason for creating that is just so that I can have something from which to fetch the data from. And the options page I'm going to create is an options page that's going to hold all of my downloads files. So let's call this downloads. Would that be fine? Yes. Downloads should be all right. Inside of page slug, we can call this downloads files, something unique. And we're going to come down here to where we have the field storage type and select the default, because we don't really care about whether it's separated into a different table in the database. This is fine. Now, the next thing we want to do is add a new field. And the field that we're going to add here is a simple repeater field. It's a repeater of all of the files that we intend to have our users download on the site. So let's just add a field and call it files for download. Now, this field is going to be a field type of repeater. We're just going to select repeater here and add the following options to the repeater. For example, we're going to add the file name, which we're going to show to the user. We're also going to add the description. I'm going to call that description there. And we can come down here finally and add the actual file. So we're just going to select here media and select the file. So this is absolutely good. We can see we have everything we need to actually create a simple array of files to be downloaded. The next thing we want to do here is to select the value format for that file. And this is important. You need to keep this in mind, because whatever you store in your database is what you'll be able to return to the user. And what we intend to store for every single file we upload to the site is a media URL. Keep that in mind for when we'll actually demonstrate this. Now let's just set a few options here. For example, we want to set this to collapsed, so the repeater is always collapsed. It doesn't matter for this particular tutorial, but we just want to make things look as beautiful as possible. With the title field, we want to select the file name as the title, so that shows at the top of the repeater, and we know that that is actually what is stored inside of that repeater item. Next, we want to click on Add Page, and we're good to go. Once the page has been added, we see it now on the left side of the page. As you can see it here, you have downloads. You can click on downloads now, and we can add items that we can download. So let's add two items here. The first item we want to add here, we're just going to call this the Music of Fame. And the description, let's find the description here. This is fine. Let's select a music file. We're just going to choose media here, and inside of our media library, I have a music file I have previously uploaded. I can select that and add that music file there. The next one we want to add here is a simple picture. So let's just give it a file name such as this, the story of Wakanda, and I have a beautiful description I've previously written here. Of course, with the help of ChatGPT, what were you thinking? We can come to choose media here and select one file. This is fine. We're going to select that and come down here to save. Now, we have everything we need to actually display this inside of a simple listing. But as you already know, before we create a listing, we need to create a query. So let's build out that query ourselves by coming to JetEngine and clicking on Query Builder. Now, inside of Query Builder, you want to click on Add New and give this query a name of your choice. I choose to call this Query of Downloads on the site. I can't spell downloads. That's because I don't know why. Query of downloads on the site. That's okay. And we can come to query type and here select repeater query. And come down here to repeater source and select JetEngine option field because of course we created an options page inside of which we have the repeater, right? So inside of JetEngine option, we can now select files for download. That's of course the repeater field we previously created. We're good to go. We can now click on add query and we're ready to create our listing. But before that, let's toggle on preview result and see what we have here. We have two items. As you can see, inside of the array for each of the items, you have the file name. You also have the description. And of course, you have the actual file, which is a URL. The URL is important because that's what we need to actually initiate a download of these files. So let's go ahead to build our listing. And create a simple listing the way you already know it by just clicking on listing and components. Once we open that, we can click on add new item, of course, and on the listing source, we can select query builder. On the query, we want to select the query of downloads on the site, the one we just created. Inside of listing item name, let's just give it a name of our choice. Here, we're just going to call it downloads listing. Okay, that's okay. We can click on create listing item. That's of course after selecting the listing view. In our case, we're using Elementor, and that's fine. If you're using Bricks Builder or Gutenberg, you can do the exact same thing too. Now let's just add a simple container here. And after adding the container, we want to add a dynamic field widget here. So let's just select dynamic field and drag that inside of here. Now, what are we going to select inside of our object field here? Let's come back inside Query Builder and find out. If you look on the right side here, you see the file name here is the music of fame. For this particular example, we can just select file name here, copy that and display that inside of here by simply pasting in file name. As you can see, it quickly pulls in one of the items here, and this is looking good for us. Now let's just select style and come down here to typography and make this look a little more appealing. Maybe select this and this should be okay. Let's come now inside of content and add another one. Let's add another dynamic field widget here. Drag that inside of here and want to add the description. We'll come back again inside Query Builder and copy description and paste it right inside of there. Now we have our description fetch, and that's okay. Our description is correctly fetched. Next, we want to add a button that will initiate this download. Now, this is the entire reason for this video. Now, you're going to find it out right now. You just need to add a new element and click on dynamic field. Again, another dynamic field widget, drag that inside of here. Now, what you really need to fetch now is the file. We can copy that. As you can see, that's the one that returns the URL inside of there. So we want to copy that inside of here by simply selecting file, copying that, coming back inside of the listing and pasting that inside of here. Now this returns the URL, and we know already this is fine. It's the URL as we know it, but we don't just need the URL to show here. What we really need is for us to initiate a download of this file by simply clicking on that particular button. But this is not a button. This is a simple URL. To change it to a button, we need to come down here to customize field output. Now, follow me as this is the most important part. All you need to do is to come to where you have this %s and take that off for now. We're going to paste it back, but just take it off for now. First, you want to add this less than symbol and you want to add an A. Now, this is simply what we know as an A tag in HTML. And simply put, this helps you to create a simple link. You know that, right? Now you want to put a space and type in href, href. And next you want to add an equal sign. After adding the equal sign, you want to open quotes and close the quotes, just like that. Now, in between those quotes, you want to put a space there because inside of that space is where you want to put in the value of the URL. Whatever is fetched from the database, for example, from the query builder, as you can see here, into this file option here, you want to put that right here in between these quotation marks. So what represents that URL? It's what we cut out before, the %s. So let's just paste that back inside of there. And this is okay. In fact, if you come out of that quotation mark and simply close this by using the greater than symbol there and typing something like download, and then you open again and put a / and put an A and close that out just like this. What you have now is a simple working download link. In fact, if we click on publish right now and maybe style up this listing a little bit by maybe putting a background color of maybe white, such as this, and you want to put maybe a padding of 20 pixels and maybe a border radius of 16, just so it looks a bit more visually appealing, you would have a working listing. A working listing with a download link that isn't quite working just yet. And I want to show you that. If we come inside of the edit page and we paste that listing inside of here by dropping the listing widget, we can drag that listing grid widget inside of here and we can select that listing, which is the downloads listing. So once we select that, we want to keep the columns number to 1. And you have the items you added to your repeater right inside of here. And if you click on publish and come to the front end and refresh this, you see now that you have your listing in the front end. But these buttons don't quite work for now. In fact, we can test them out. Let's click on them and see what happens. For the music of fame, once we click on it, you see it goes to the page where you have the music ready to play, right? So let's pause it. Let's come back out. And what we really need here is for the download button to initiate the download of that music file. And for this one, to initiate the download of that particular picture file. So to do that, let's come back inside of our listing and make a few changes to it. We want to come inside again to the edit page for the listing item and make some more changes to it. What changes do we want to make here? We want to come down here to where we have the A href and also this %s symbol. And just after the quotation mark closes, we want to add a space here. And we want to physically type in the word download, just like that, download. And once we're done typing that in, we want to click on publish. Now, if we come to the front end and refresh this again, let's see what happens now. We want to click on download for the music of fame. And now you see it initiates a download. As you can see down here, it shows that the file is ready for download. This is absolutely good. Now, it doesn't just go to the file link, it initiates a download. But this is not where we're going to stop. We want to do something even more granular here. What we really want to do is to specify a name for the downloaded file. Remember that the entire reason for this tutorial is to teach you how to set a file name for a file download in a dynamic way. Now, let's do that. Let's say, for example, that we want to come back inside of our listing here. Let's just come back here to downloads and open that up. And we have here the details for each of the files. Let's say we want to specify that the name of the download would be the music of fame for this one, for example. And the name of this download would be the story of Wakanda. Let's try to make this dynamic in this way. First, we want to create a shortcode that fetches each of these items. Now, how do we do that? Let's come inside of JetEngine and open that up. Now, inside of JetEngine, we want to come here to shortcode generator. And inside of here, you have custom object field, meta field, or repeater key. Now, repeater key is the key. It's really what we're looking for, right? Let's come back inside of downloads and copy that key right there. For file name, we're going to copy that. We're going to come back inside of here and paste file name inside of here. Now we have a nice looking shortcode ready to use. We can copy that and we can make use of this, but not so fast. We want to take that inside of macros generator because we can't just use the shortcode just like that inside of the dynamic field widget. We want to put that inside of macros generator because we can make use of a macro instead. So let's come inside macros generator and we want to come to macros, and here we want to select shortcode result there. Now inside of shortcode, we want to paste that inside of here. Now keep in mind that when we were building this before, we specified certain things that needed double quotes. If you look at this carefully, you notice you have href, and then you have equal to, and then you have double quotes, and then you have another double quotes here. You don't want this to conflict with each other. So in order to ensure it doesn't conflict, let's change this to single quotes instead. Where you have file name, inside of here, let's change that to single quotes. We can just remove the double quotes and change it to single quotes. We'll do that for both of the quotes. And once we're done with that, what we have here is our generated shortcode, which is our macro in this case, doesn't have any double quotes that will conflict with our dynamic field widget. We have it ready to use. We can copy that now and come inside of our listing. Now inside of our listing, we have download here. And just after we have that download specified there, we want to put an equal to again, just as we did for the href. And now we want to open the double quotes the way we did before. And in between that, we want to drop in the macro. Let's just paste that macro inside of there, just like that. It will work. But there's one more thing you need to do to ensure it works. You need to also ensure that before and after the macro, you also add a percentage sign, just like this. So you have like double percentages, right? And our reason is we also have percentage S here. We don't want that to conflict with this definition here. So to make sure it doesn't conflict, we just need to add another percentage here and here at the beginning and at the end of the macro. And this will make it work just fine. It's exactly what is written inside of here, simplified for you to understand. Next, you want to click on Publish. Now, if you come to the front end and refresh this, let's test this out again and see what happens now. If we click on Download for the Music of Fame, let's see if the URL, as you can see on the bottom left of the page here, which previously downloaded as that instrumental, will now be changed to the Music of Fame. We can click on Download now and see what happens. As you can see, it's now called the Music of Fame. That's interesting. Let's close this out and try it for the second one. The Story of Wakanda will previously have this random set of characters, as you can see at the bottom of the page there when I hover over that download link. If we click on the download link now, we want to see if it sets the Story of Wakanda as the name of the download file. If we click on Download, that's exactly what we have here. This is all looking great for us. There's one more thing I want to show you, one last trick that can help you do something even more marvelous. Now imagine that you intend to set a file name dynamically for each day that a person actually initiates the download. So let's say a person downloads an invoice, for example, from your site, and you want to specify inside of the file name the date that the person downloaded the file. The way to do that is also pretty simple. We can also do that by coming back inside of JetEngine and inside of macros. In fact, let's just refresh this page so we lose all our changes. And we can come inside here to generate macros and select the macro of date. So let's select current date. And if we want to select here the dates of our choice, maybe we want to select a custom format such as the year separated by the month separated by the date, something like this, something nice. The year, the month, the date, just like that. We want to copy that macro we just generated and come back inside of our listing. And this time, we want to separate this again. We just want to put this inside of that double quotes there because what we specify as the name for the download file here has to be within the quotes. The quotes here, at the end here, and at the beginning here, just like that. So you want to specify the date inside of here. So let's say we want to specify that and separate it with, let's say, a dash. So let's add a dash first. And then we want to open this and close this with the percentage symbol, just like we did before for the previous macro. And then in between those percentages, let's paste in the macro we just generated. Now, once we paste that in there, we can now click on Publish. If we come to the front end and refresh this, what we have now is a simple download link that dynamically fetches the current date. Let's try it out. Let's click on this download link here and see what happens now. As you can see, it shows the Music of Fame, 24, that's the year, 12, that's December, and 5th, that's the day in December. This is absolutely great, don't you think so? Now, what I've shown you here is how you can very easily set a dynamic file name for every file download on your site. You don't have to do it in the listing. It could be part of a table, whatever you need to help users download files on your site. Let me know in the comment section below if you've benefited from this. If you have any questions relating to this or anything else you want me to cover in the future, let me know and I'll be happy to help. As always, my people, my name is Tobi Salami, and until next time, stay dynamic.